Welcome to Emancipated Studio. Welcome my uncle, Uncle Stu, the old man on the block.
I'm silly. I didn't even realize my mic was on. Salute, 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 salute. Tonight, we got one of the most awesome celebrations and milestones. Tonight, we not only going to give a young lady an awesome interview and learn many and great things. Tonight, as you can see, we are now monetized. For those that do not understand, that means we have over 1,000 subscribers. And we have 4,000 plus people that has both watched the videos and participated in the lives. And it's definitely an accomplishment that only you helping me to get there can definitely achieve. It definitely is something that every content creator works for. But now, while the hard work may have started, the real work now can begin. And the real work now is taking this platform where it really needs to go. It is now getting on the hands and knees of God and allowing him to take this platform where it needs to go, into the highways and byways of life. Soon, we will definitely be celebrating and building a Patreon where we're going to have the ability to have professional mental health people. We're going to have lawyers. We're going to have a whole lot of professional people to help us build our minds, build our hearts, and build our souls. So before we go any further, let me thank each person that's here right now. We definitely got Mr. Von Bryant. Salute, salute. This young lady right here, y'all keep your eyes on her. She's just now getting her platform started, but oh my God, she's coming out the gate with some stuff that's going to be on fire, and she's probably going to surprise you with a lot of her thoughts, views, and opinions. So salute, salute, all the way from the motherland. Salute, salute, Moments with Diva. Appreciate you. And Big Bad Bull is surely in the house. One of my brand new holding it down moderators. And then, as you may or may not know, being monetized means you get super chats. And the super chats came in real early today. So let me give a shout out to Matt from Tinder, who gave a $50 super chat. What a way to start a live stream. Let me also give a shout out to JC Coins, who also gave a cash app. Salute to him. Welcome. Trash Can Waves in the house. Thank you. Friendsgiving is definitely in the house. And of course, you know, Brown Eyes is definitely holding it down in the house. For a lot of you that just getting to know me, Trash Can Waves, salute, salute to you. Trash Can Waves says, this is what that button do. Appreciate you, Trash Can Waves. And salute, salute, Moments with Diva. Appreciate you. Love it, love it. You know, Trash Can Waves is funny. He was on another live stream and he had the nerve to call me out, talk about, I ain't Uncle Stu, but I can put something on it. Love you, my brother. You know, when this journey began, some of you may have known that my journey began on Miss B Finesse show. Shout out to Miss B Finesse. But then I had to come back here and work it and do what it do. My boss is in the house, Mr. Frank Gooden, Emmy Award-winning filmmaker. Hallelujah. And work your land. Salute, salute. So we started there. Then we had to put it together. We worked hard. Oh, salute, salute. Shout out to you, Getty's Radio. Congratulations, good brother. Keep pushing out the great content. Respect to you. Much love to you, Getty Radio. Much love. You spoke it into existence. We're here now. Thank you, my brother. So as I said, we started. We was real happy when we got to that 500 subscriber where you get your little community tab. And right now, I think I used that community tab 4 times. So I'm going to have to work on that community tab a little bit better. I can't put that one on brown eyes. I'm supposed to be operating the community tab, and I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at it. And then I receive an email. And I receive an email that said, Frank Gooden, and I want you to come to this website because we created a part for you. And I said, wait a minute, let me read this again. I read the email 3 times thinking, oh, this was a spam email. Just to come to find out it was the real Frank Gooden. And just to find out he gave me a real part in his up and coming movie. And what made it real special was that I'm just not reading a part. I actually have to write the part. So I can officially say I'm a voiceover actor and a spiritual screen writer. And I thank him so much for that. Let me give a shout out to Trevor F. Congratulations, Uncle Stu. Genuine great content. Much love and much respect. Much love and much respect to you. I really understand what TLA is talking about. The man that's been with me since the very beginning. When you go to my homepage, it is this man's quote that I'm always quoting. The Coach of Condition with the $10 super chat. You are grinding, sir. You are leaving a legacy. Many don't see the work, but the vision will come into fruition if you faint not. That's Biblical Principles 101. Work-life balance and support is the key. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And to my now boss who pulled me out of retirement, Frank Gooden, the Emmy-winning filmmaker with the $20 cash app. Keep pushing. I am, sir. I am. I'm going to be pushing more, grinding more, and trying to do the best that I can do. Shout out to Vaughn Bryant with the $10 super chat. Congratulations. Can you smell what the uncle is stewing? Hallelujah. You know it. You know it. You know it. And I'm going to give you a piece of what we're going to be doing. We are going to continue to stay mission focused, and we are going to return with results. And we are going to be a mission focused, results driven platform. We are not going to be here just giving out junk. We're going to be giving out information, revelation, and elevation. And we're going to put some application on what we're going to be doing here. Shout out to the one and only Tack Williams with the $20 super chat. As a man thinketh, so is he. Congrats, Uncle Stu. Yes, yes. Think and Grow Rich. We got the book, and we're going to be getting some deep dives into the lessons of that book. Congratulations. Thank you, Black Tropical Homestead. We're going to be learning from these people definitely how to grow our own food, how to have it really organic because we're going to grow it. And whether you got a piece of a land, quarter of a land, some kind of land, these are the people that's going to help you to get ready to cultivate that land. There are some things we need to go back to. When my parents migrated from the South to the North, they knew how to work a farm. We in this generation, we don't know how to work a farm, but we can surely learn how. So I salute them. The vision is going to be threefold. One, we're going to learn leadership, and we're going to learn high levels of leadership. So we're going to be studying leadership and management. We're going to be dealing with these issues in relationships. We're working for the month of February to have a lot of married couples, different generations, different lengths of time in marriage. And we're going to show the results of men who's getting it right, women who's getting it right. And then we're going to make sure we got some marriages on the table. When it comes to business, we're going to talk a lot about that too. We also going to put a spiritual spin because we're going to finally study the Word of God. And we're going to understand it in a deeper fashion than I guarantee you've ever had to give it before. And guess what? It ain't going to cost you half your paycheck. It ain't going to cost you half your paycheck. I know that's a dig for some, but I got to keep it real. The word needs to be given, and it needs to be given correctly. It needs to be given without you feeling like you got to give me your electric bill money, like you got to give me your house note money. Because the two blessings is when we actually apply the word in our life and you see the results. And when you see the fruits of your labor, that's when you can say the blessing of God is here. That's how agricultural, spiritual things work. So we're going to have those conversations probably in the Patreon at the lowest economic level. But I guarantee you, what you're going to pay and what you're going to receive is going to be nothing. It's going to be nothing. You're going to say, well, all this knowledge for this little bit of change. Yep. Because we're going to make it work. We're going to make it happen. The reason we can't do a whole lot on top of the platform is because now that we got monetization, we got to play with all these algorithms. But that's okay, because you're going to get the knowledge anyway. You're going to get it anyway. She Stole My Thunder is in the house. She was one of the first people who made from her own ideal my first introduction. And I thank her so much. Thank her so much. And I want everybody to understand that. I also want to shout out some people that has really been in my back scene, that has really motivated me, that has came here physically, that has helped me mentally, that has helped me spiritually, and that has kept an eye and kept me having the eyes on the prize. I said that at the very beginning, that I wanted this platform to be about Uncle Stu. Shout out to my nephew, Jonathan Barron, with the $100 super chat. It's about time. It's about time, monetize Unc. I was getting so close to pulling up to YouTube headquarters and demanding answers. Shout out to you. You know your auntie is in the backdrop. So she definitely going to be shouting you out. Thank you, sir. Thank you. JB, as y'all know, is the grand sponsor with the $100 super chat. And I want to tell y'all something. First, if I don't say it in the proper numbers, it's not even about orders. I want to first of all thank Brown Eyes. Brown Eyes has had to sacrifice being without me. Brown Eyes has had to sacrifice a lot of time, a lot of pain, and a lot of effort to support me in this endeavor. A lot of people don't know that behind the scenes, you gotta be up late at night and you gotta be up early in the morning. A lot of times, I may only sleep 4 or 5 hours a day just so I can be here on these YouTube streets, so I can be here in people's platforms, supporting small content creators, medium-sized content creators, and learning from the larger content creators. We went through a whole lot building this platform. Building the platform where there was a death in the family that should have shut down production, shut down everything. But she wanted me to continue. She wanted me to continue. Many nights, she was in that bed alone because many nights I was on y'all platforms, pushing you, loving on you, praying on you, trying to give the positive words that I felt you needed to get you through the day. And so with that being said, she lost a lot of me just to be and just to push this platform. So shout out. So if women don't understand what it means to be a submissive woman, she's the example of that submission. Let me give a shout out to a man that most of y'all probably don't realize had his eyes on me. But he saw me putting in the work and gave me the respect all the way from overseas. Let me shout out O'Shea Duke Jackson, who was a person that on many occasions we spoke by email. And he understood that I wanted to build this platform on my name. He understood that I wanted to make sure that it was my name, that I didn't ride on the name of any other content creator. And even when things got rough, he hung in there. And when it got rough for him, we prayed and made it go through. Shout out to She Stole My Thunder with the $5 cash app from Canada. Here is some Canadian beauty bucks. Try not to look too good with it on. Salute, salute. You know I love it. I want to give a shout out to the lead attorney for whom definitely birthed this old man out. The lead attorney definitely, when we knew him, he wasn't as big as he is now. But he definitely helped us. He definitely gave us the words we need, the teachings we need, the positive motivation we needed. And so I definitely got to shout out the lead attorney. I definitely got to shout out El Guapo. El Guapo has been teaching me management on such a high level, leadership on such a high level. The joke of the day is that if El Guapo suggests one more book, he's going to have to buy us a bookshelf, because y'all don't realize being under El Guapo is like getting your master's degree. You got a whole lot to read. but we putting in the work to read, to study, to learn, to give you a whole lot, to teach you a whole lot. So shout out to El Guapo. I want to shout out Jonathan big time. Y'all don't understand. There's been many times, and I'm always teasing Brown Eyes about this. As she was going through, I was doing a live. Jonathan Barron called in on my live. I'm thinking Jonathan was going to talk to Brown Eyes for about 10 minutes. Jonathan Barron spoke to Brown Eyes for my entire live stream. I love that brother. But he was there. He understood. He had love. He had compassion. And we thank him for that. We definitely thank Blind Guy, his wife, their life, and my right-hand partner who really couldn't be here tonight, the Intentional Millionaire. Real people, real family. They show real love. And the one and the only, JB, you know he had to do it. El Guapo, Beautiful Lives with the 101 Super Chat. He is coming in to dominate. He said he is going to be the #1 sponsor of this stream. I ain't got that, but I get a hand clap in the house. Congratulations at Uncle Stu on monetization. Proud of you, sir, and I'm proud of you. Thank you for all that you have done. Continue to do. Continue to educate. I learn from the best, and I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much for the 101 Super Chat. I also, like I said, want to thank Blind Guy's wife and the Intentional Millionaire. We have not only just become partners in content creation. This is it. We have not only become friends in content creation, but we've also become best of friends. Best of friends. So I am honored to call Corey and Laquita and Intentional Millionaire my best friend, because they've been riding and dying with me through this whole road, motivating me, keeping us lifted up, keeping us wiping the tears. We definitely got a shout out Tiana, the Miracle Speaks, my oldest daughter, who has definitely been on this ride with me from the very, very beginning. Salute to her. Much love to her as she pushed her daddy forward. And now we're hoping in a couple of weeks, her YouTube channel will be getting started. So salute to my oldest daughter. Let me salute my youngest child who called in today to congratulate this milestone. So I salute my youngest daughter. Salute to my boy, Wealth Engineering. You've been riding and dying. You've been on these YouTube streets for me. And to my big, big sister. Yes. Woo woo. Congratulations. Y'all give it up to my big sister. Only about 2 months, y'all. Only about 2 months. To my big sister, Mosaic with TJ Randolph. Love you. We had an awesome time. We kept my big sister up for a 3-hour live stream. She don't normally do 3-hour live streams, but she hung in there with us, and it was one of the greatest ways to start this new year. So shout out to my TJ Randolph. Now, El Guapo, I had to say it. Thanks to you and my big sister, I got to now go out here and buy a house with a fireplace. You got the fireplace in your background. She got a photo of the dog by the fireplace in her background. So I wanted to let you know, El Guapo, love the way you stepped up the standard for a brother. So now I got to go buy a nice 4-bedroom house with a fireplace. Love y'all. I'm in there. I'm rocking with y'all. Woo! Y'all gonna make her real happy when she get it. Hopefully within this year. I also want to give a shout out to the Coach Connection. Coach Connection been riding with me since the very beginning, giving me understanding on a higher level of psychiatry and knowing how to integrate psychiatric words and terms into biblical principles and then make it actionable for everyone to be able to eat the fruit of that labor and move forward. And then let me just stop this right here. Retired Army vet. Start my YouTube channel soon. Can't wait to talk and have discussions on how to mend the relationship in Louisiana between the cops and black men. Kenneth Mitchell, you got some veterans in the house. We salute you, sir. Yes, sir. And I'm going to just let you know, Kenneth Mitchell, you make sure you subscribe to Mosaic with TJ Randolph, and you subscribe to Beautiful Lives, two also military retired people. I'm also one. And you know, we stick together. We stick together. So you make sure you subscribe. If any one of my moderators can please put Mosaic with TJ Randolph YouTube channel in the chat. Also put Beautiful Lives channel in the chat. I would appreciate it. And like I said, Lord, where in the world was I at? Okay, I remember. So I definitely want to thank, I used to say my team, which was one person, but my team has grown. Airborne, understand. North Carolina, got it. My team has surely grown. I want to thank my moderators. I'm going to tell you, if you have a YouTube channel, you can't do this without moderators. My moderators is on fire. Vaughn's been on fire. Wealth Engineering been on fire. Big Bad Bull been on fire. And then Gail comes in and sets the house on fire. I want to thank Tough Love because he was the first person to really talk about starting a YouTube page. And because of that, 1 week later, TLA talked about the older generation getting out here. And I learned something from my big sister, growing up some folk. You know, I'm from the North. I don't know all the country words, but, you know, got to grow you up. And they grew an old man up to get on this platform and do what he needs to do. So I definitely got to give a shout out to him. And y'all just don't really understand what this means and the glory of the Lord that is definitely in this place. Each and every single one of you is extremely important to me. You mean something to me. You mean a lot to me. I said it before and I'm going to continue to say it over and over. You're not a number to me. Uh-oh. Here we go. Jonathan Barron with the $50 super chat. Now he done took the lead with $150 super chat all combined. He is competitive. And he said he's going to stay number one. Salute, salute. And you are not just a number. You're a human being. And that's how I look at each, every one of you. When I wake up 3, 4 in the morning, I recognize, as Mosaic would say, it started off as a hobby, but it became a lifestyle. And I'm letting you know that it's been a rough journey, but I've loved every minute of it. I've watched some of you cry, some of you laugh. Some of you was in pain and you walked away healed. Some of you came confused and you walked away with a straight mind. Some of you was looking for answers and you found the place. And we are building networks. We're building businesses. We're staying mission focused. But the most important thing is that we get results. And I'm seeing the results. And this year, we're going to make sure we see more results. Results just don't come in the growth of a platform. It comes in the growth of each and every single one of you. It comes when you take education, have the application, and it will equal the revelation that you need. And that's how you grow people. Not a channel, but the people. And you are the people. Many of you has written me emails, and I need you to understand I am the reader and the writer of those emails because they're personal to me. I read. Thank you. TJ with the $10. Keep leading with your heart, bro. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Each and every single one of you needs to learn how to take the lessons, apply it, and watch the results. Let me say it again. Don't just take the knowledge and run. Take the knowledge, apply it, and watch the results. I'm going to say it again. Matt from Tender, you came in with the $50 super chat. Salute to you, sir. Because we're going to be more on the entertainment but academia side. Now, we're still going to have our interviews. We're still going to be out here interviewing people, learning about people's life, and having a good time. But we're also going to be talking about some serious topics. Some very serious ones. We're going to deal with some issues dealing with marriage. We're going to have some truth telling. We're going to have some truth telling. Folk coming out here with some stories I ain't never heard of. And then there's some other stories that's real. And we're going to separate the tares from the wheat. You're going to hear stories of women that did shack up and made it work. You're going to hear stories, since a lot of you may not believe one content creator. I know another content creator that remained a virgin until marriage. All right, Jonathan, you got a battle going on. $56.78, making Beautiful Lies the #1 moderator on these YouTube streets. We got a battle of the dollar going on here. He says, step away to the post. This stream on my community tab at Jonathan Barron is acting up. I'm back. I don't know, JB. I don't know. Look, that gotta go for the bookshelf, Jonathan. You know, I be getting a list like 10 books a month. He said he quit. He said he quit. But we're going to definitely be moving this platform towards laughing, joking, but we're also going to be making sure we're learning. We're learning. But it's not just going to be academia. It's going to be application. When we set up our Patreon, you're going to get some real knowledge. One of my Patreon is going to be definitely having a psychiatrist in it. And as you know, Major Change Group is in the house. Thank you, sir. Congrats at Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. Yes, ma'am. You're welcome to the back anytime you ready. So we are definitely going to make sure that we got mental health professionals. And this mental health professional, I got to tell y'all, I have to pay these people. So I got to make sure I have the money to pay these people for their time. For their time. Because now it is time to get the mental health in line. So we will have a paid mental health staff. Because for us that's been in the military, a lot of us got access to it. For y'all that don't have it, you don't have access. For a lot of us, my twin brother, y'all give it out. My twin brother, Coffee Talking Tech, congratulations. Thank you. That's my twin brother, y'all. We got the same bald head. We got the same glasses. Y'all lucky he don't pop in, and I'll show you how much we look alike. That's my twin brother. Love him, love him, love him. He will also be back in February. If y'all look down my timeline, I talk about the perfect wife. And you know, I'll speak for me. She studied and talked about being the wife of a content creator. And I really think that talk needs to happen because a lot of people don't know what it's like to be the wife of a content creator or even the husband of a content creator. In the life of Dolly, no one recognized me. I see you. You are here and I see you, Dolly. Much love and respect to you. So I don't want Dolly to feel. Y'all make sure. Now you watch Trash Can Waves, Dolly, because he's a comedian. He's a comedian. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the next part of this platform. You see, when the intentional millionaire didn't have enough, he had to call this woman. When El Guapo was getting ready to buy 2 mansions, he called this woman. And when my big sister just needed to get on the road, you know, because she's a truck driver's wife, she called this woman. So tonight, we, Uncle Stu, had to call this woman. Ladies and gentlemen, put your love together for the one and only Major Change Group.
Hey, Uncle Stu, how are you doing?
I am doing well. I got 2 fierce competitors, you know, so I gotta shout this one out. JB with the $54.32. I swear, I don't know what happened at Beautiful Lies. My finger just landed on that button again. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
And Uncle Stu, first, I want to say congratulations to you for getting monetized. I know this is really great for you because you have been doing the work. So congratulations to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And just think, you are the celebrity guest
Oh gosh, I don't even know if I was just like, we can reschedule this another day.
I tell you, look, I got them two. Beautiful Lives with the $100 super chat. Bang. All righty. I guess Brown Eyes can finally go get that $30 bookshelf, but she gonna step it up now. She gonna get the one with the gold rims on the side. I tell you. How was your day?
I had an amazing day today. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, and we've been getting some snow, but today was a beautiful day. So I had an amazing day. Thank you.
You are welcome. You are welcome. Now, most people just know you if they watched The Intentional Millionaire and you did that beautiful interview. So a lot of people just know you by name.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get an opportunity. Who is Major Change Group? Because there's something about your background I was kind of humbled by.
Oh, really? I'm surprised. I'm really interested.
I don't do major research, but I just want to see if my idea came out correct. So Tell me about you.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Tasha, and I'm from the Major Change Group channel. And on my channel, we talk about budgeting, credit, and I talk about student loans. What I do on my channel, we just want to make sure that people are budgeting their money. I'm more so on the front end of it because, Intentional Millionaire, he's on the back end. So I want to teach people how to get their foundation good so that they don't have to ask people to borrow money, ask people to co-sign for them, and then also use their credit cards like a debit card. That's what I like to do. But we always want to make sure that we're paying our credit cards off every month, but we need to use our budget to help us to do that. So that's what I like to talk about on my channel.
How did you get into what you're into right now?
Well, I would say even though I really majority of my views come from credit cards. Budgeting is like my passion. So I've been budgeting, for a long time. And that's really what my passion is to get people on that foundation so that they can get their money in order. And then especially with our credit scores, we want to get our credit scores so that when we are ready to get that house, even that job, because jobs are actually, pulling your credit as well.
Right.
And or if you're getting that car, have your credit in order so that when you're trying to go use your credit, you don't have to get that high interest rate.
Excellent. Wealth Engineering with the $50 super chat.
What's up, Wealth Engineering?
Yes. When I grow up, I want to be as beautiful as Tasha and as wise as Uncle Stu. Congrats on the milestone.
Congratulations.
Appreciate you. Let me ask you this. Before we get into the budgeting, where did you grow up at?
So I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm born and raised. I actually never moved. Even when I had graduated from high school, I always thought that I would move. But as I traveled different places, I love Nashville. And so I don't know that I would just move and I want to move from probably December to maybe March to Florida or somewhere where it's warm.
You mean with that Nashville country accent? I'm from New York, so we picking it up.
I love New York. But not during this time. I usually say, because my sister lives upstate New York, and she actually had asked me to come visit her in, January. I was like, girl, I cannot visit New York from I would say September, mid-September to June. So June till the middle of September, I can visit New York because it just gets too cold up there.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. Now, I'm from what she would call the lower state of New York. I'm from the city.
Okay.
She's upstate New York, so she in the colder part of
because she's upstate.
Yeah, much colder. Now I heard you talk about. Now I think this was on your platform. You talked about Navy Federal.
Yeah.
Are you connected to the military?
Well, my family. So I got in under my family.
Okay, because you got a lot of vets, so you start saying Navy Federal. that's a veteran thing,
right?
So you grew up.
Somebody said, hold on. Top Slug says, shout out to TSU. Now I didn't go to TSU. I went to MTSU, but I know, TSU is in my stomping grounds.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that if you say TSU, that is, where is she? I only know one other person. That's Courtney Michelle.
Okay.
That's Courtney Michelle. Brown Eyes, they battling in here. JB with the $50.47. I really tried to resist. I'm sorry.
They are really hooking you up tonight. Congratulations, Uncle Stu. This is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. So now you said you live by TSU.
Well, I don't live by TSU. I don't live by TSU, but yeah, I've been in that area. I've been to the TSU festivities and all that stuff. So, but I went to MTSU.
And by you, where were some of the places you traveled, and what did you learn in your kind of travels? Like what expanded your mind in that regard?
Well, I would say one, travel, it did definitely make me like it gave me a different appreciation for where I came from too. Because like I said, I always thought that I would move.
Right.
But as I traveled, so first I was traveling to like Miami and places like that when I was in college. But then I transitioned to going on cruises, and like I've been on like 9 cruises. I love cruises. I hate that I haven't been able to go on a cruise right now.
Right.
And so the last place that I went traveling to before this was like right as everything was happening was Dubai. And I really loved, going to Dubai, and, it's very clean. And, even just reading up on some of the things, their practices, even in Dubai, like they don't want you to have debt, like no drinking and no cursing and things like that. So I thought that was really cool.
Let me ask you something. Being that you talk about traveling, a lot of information on these YouTube streets.
Okay.
But you're a woman. How was you treated going overseas as a woman, different ethnicity? How did the people treat you?
Oh, I feel like everywhere that I've traveled, like I said, I've been to Dubai. I have been to a lot of the Caribbean places. Like I've even been to Puerto Rico on like almost like a semi-solo trip. I would say for myself, I don't have an issue with even like traveling alone. I can travel alone, but I feel like as a woman, we just have to make sure that we are aware of our surroundings. And definitely don't necessarily tell somebody that you're traveling alone. I've even traveled to New York for a whole week, or definitely a few days in the city by myself, and I was out there, just walking even at night, and it's just more so about being aware of your surroundings. Now I can say one thing about traveling by yourself is that you don't have anybody to take your pictures. And then when you have to go to the restroom, when you're in a restaurant, you got to take all your stuff with you. So, other than that, I would say, for me, it's not any different from just being in my own hometown and doing things by myself.
Okay, let me read this, and then I want to take a deep dive into the travel aspect.
Okay.
Beautiful Lies, $10 super chat from El Guapo says, at Jonathan Barron, you win, bro. My AdSense check hasn't come in yet. Look, come back to fight another day, right?
And M. Mills said her daughter went to MTSU.
Okay.
Yeah.
That will work. The reason I asked you about the travels, because this is something that now I've traveled, I've been all around the world, but I hear this and I just want your reaction, and okay. Don't worry about my chat. You just speak how you feel. You have a lot of arguments going on where you have African American men who is really boasting about going overseas, whether it's any country overseas. And they talk about their experiences as a Black man. comparing their experiences as a Black man in America. And that's usually a big contention because it said, those people over there is poor, they're just desperate. You know, why in the world would you go overseas, even if it's to get a wife? Those are poor women. They just out there in the river cleaning their clothes, and they just poor, and Black people ain't respected. What's your experience?
You know, so on my channel, I stay away from these kind of topics. But what I will say, I don't have a problem if people want to go. I don't have a problem with men going to travel to these other places.
Well, it's not really about relationship.
Yeah.
I want to know your travel experience. You ain't even got to go where it's like, okay, I don't want to go into this. No, your travel experience, what you saw, what you experienced.
Okay, but I just want to clarify. I just want to clarify what you asked me, because you kind of said, men are going over here, they're traveling, so, and they're maybe, so I just want to clarify specifically, what was your question to me?
Okay, my question to you is, give me your personal experience, because I rarely hear from any woman that has traveled. The difference in going on a cruise and actually getting on a plane and traveling and immersing into another culture.
Well, so I would say, okay, yes. So as I stated, I love traveling. I think that traveling it definitely opens your mind. Even the plane ride, it gives you that time to kind of decompress, really get into your mind. And like, usually when I'm traveling, I like to write things down. I like to think about, okay, where do I see myself going? And then let's say, even if I'm going on a cruise, I can say sometimes when you do go on the cruises and you go to the different islands, there are some areas that, you definitely have to be careful. And there are some areas that, you just want to be careful in those areas. But I can say, I always have a great time. I feel like the natives, they always treat me well, and I don't have a problem with it. I love it. So I can only speak for myself. I definitely have a good time when I'm traveling. I definitely can see myself having a place, like I said, when we first started, maybe like from December to, let's say, March. I really love Puerto Rico. I'm trying to go back to Puerto Rico. There's this spot there, because y'all don't get me. I don't eat seafood, but there's this restaurant there. It's like an Italian restaurant, and I want to go just for the weekend, even just to go there to eat. Even when I had went to Puerto Rico, and it was kind of like a semi solo trip. Okay. I didn't have any issues. I had even because I was in the Condado area. I had stayed at the La Concha Hotel, and then I had got an Uber, and I had went I don't know, it was kind of way out, and they were having kind of like a festival, and I stayed there and just shopped, and so I feel like each person's experience is going to be different for what is your purpose of going there. So most of the time when I'm going there, I'm just trying to relax and have a good time. And I can definitely, even when that one time that I went to Puerto Rico, I'm trying to think, what do they call it? But they even had it wasn't as far out as that one festival that I had went to, but I have a good time. And I feel like if you I think if you lead with, I don't know, if you're not trying to be mean or giving off negative energy, you can't help but to have a good time. And I think that's even the case when I went to New York, because I can tell you for myself, this is a really quick story. like for myself, when I first went to New York, when I was maybe like 18, I really seriously did not like New York. And then I was more so because I was like, because I'm more so, I'm from the South. Like,
Right,
if
right.
we, like if we make eye contact, I'm gonna smile at you. Like that's one of my pet peeves. If we walk past each other and we look at each other in the eyes, and if I say hello or if I smile and you don't speak, like, ooh, like that just burns me up,
But you
And
know why we don't do that in New York, right?
but okay, so in New
Hold on,
York,
let
so
me just
like
shout this out. Sound of Joy. Thank you for the $5 super chat, sir. Go ahead. Tell me your New York experience.
um and so at first I was just like, I don't know about New York, and I was more so of a California person, and I love California. And so it wasn't until maybe 2013 or so where I had went to New York, and this was kind of like definitely the first couple of days I was there by myself, and I was just walking, and I'm telling you, like I've been to the Wendy Williams show like a few times, and just I would get up and I would take a taxi one place, but then I would just walk and I would just sightsee, and I would just do everything that I wanted to do. Nobody would bother me, or when people would talk to me, if I would do the tours, and they would be like, your accent, I know that you're not here. But it would just be so, so fun. But that's just, like my personality. I pretty much don't meet a stranger. I'm very friendly, but I have to make sure, especially when I'm by myself, not to be too friendly where, they start to, ask me, who I'm here with and all that kind of stuff if I'm by myself.
Right.
So I feel like it's the energy maybe that you put out. So I can just say for myself, I don't have a problem. Like I love traveling, and I think people for the most part treat you how, but I'm not saying if anybody else has those experiences that's not their experience. But I can say for myself, that's not my experience.
When you travel and then being able to come back to America, um, have you would say have a deeper appreciation for America, or is it like equal? Like I'll share with you when I have traveled and seen other countries. One of my greatest experiences, being called strictly American, where you're always over here saying you're African, you're Italian, you get all these names before the American, and it's like they just strip you of all that and say you're American. But seeing how other countries run, kind of
Mm-hmm.
their laws, their rules, and then you come back here and it's like, for me, it had a little bit more appreciation for the country I live in and
Yeah,
and
I mean, I can
and
definitely
why
say
people.
that,
Yeah.
yes, I can definitely say that, but I can say, like when I went to Dubai and I was just reading up, because by that time when I went to Dubai, I had actually vlogged and all that kind of stuff, and I was reading up on, because I know they have a lot more stricter rules than we do. So, like,
Right.
say with the debt, like not having a lot of debt, they don't really take that, and being a little bit more modest, women being a little bit more modest when they're out,
Mhm.
and it's just very structured. And I feel like of course we could, especially like with the debt thing, and then especially like with the drinking and stuff like that, of course I
Mhm.
feel like we could take on some of those characteristics. But when I come back, I'm glad to be back, and it does make me appreciate where I live, and just make me appreciate, my family and my home even more. And so that's why I said that, at first when I kind of thought that I would want to move out, you
Mhm.
know, but then once I started traveling, I'm just like, one, I like the weather, because even though it does get kind of cold, I mean, it's pretty consistent. So I would say Nashville has a pretty good weather. And but on the overhead, I'm just like, I really, like where I'm at. So I don't
Beautiful.
necessarily have to move.
Okay. Now I know that your strength is definitely the credit cards, but because
Mm-hmm.
you travel, I'm a stable travel, and then I'm going straight to the credit cards.
Okay.
Are you part of a travel program? Because there is certain programs where people can sign up and pay X amount of money and just be able to travel.
Mhm.
So if someone was listening to this now or in the back seat and they say, hey, I want to be like her, I want to travel, what would be some things you would say to people to get them to start traveling, whether it's in the States or even out of state
Mm-hmm.
or
And then
out the country, I mean?
yes, yes. I would say yes, I have been a part of some travel groups before. So let's say my first travel group, it was when the first cruise, because I actually never thought that I would take a cruise, because I'm just like, going on a cruise, you're just gonna be on that ship all that time.
Right.
And am I just gonna wanna, like, I don't know. I don't think that I would want to be on the ship all that much time. And so the first cruise that I went on, it was maybe, I don't know. It could have been like 60 of us, like 60 young people going on a cruise, and it was amazing. And that's really how I got hooked on going on cruises, because I had such an amazing time,
Right.
that first cruise. And then, but after that, because I'm more so of a planner, so I have a twin sister. So most of the time, me and my twin sister, we're traveling, or I've traveled with my family. I've been on a family cruise with my dad and my stepmom and my sister, me and my mama and my sister. We have traveled. So, and then me and my sister travel a lot by ourselves. And so I'm usually planning those trips. But when we went to Dubai, that was another group trip that I was on. So I would say, if there's somebody that hasn't maybe traveled a lot and they've been thinking about possibly traveling, they could always, talk to some of their friends and see if some of their friends are wanting to get together and do a group trip. But, like on social media, especially on Instagram, like there
Mhm,
are
mhm.
a ton of travel groups. So you can always, I would even join one of those, even if it's one that I didn't know, because I'm okay with traveling by myself as well. So even if I joined a travel group and maybe, it wasn't going how I thought, I would
Right.
still be okay, but I would still kind of feel safe with being with the group.
Now I'm going to say something, and this is only because I'm very close to somebody that's similar to you. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
do you and your sister change hairstyles?
Did me and my sister change hairstyles?
Uh-huh.
No.
Okay. Reason I'm saying that is because I'm married to a woman who's also a twin.
Really? Okay. Now, is she a fraternal or identical?
Identical.
Really? Okay, I'm a fraternal twin.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, she's left-handed. Wait, what you write with? Right, left,
Right. Mm-hmm.
right. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Now, is she a twin girl or a twin boy?
Girl.
Okay,
Woman.
yeah, yeah, twin
Both
sister.
are
Yeah,
women.
like
Yep.
I love having a twin sister. Oh my gosh, it's like, I mean, just having a twin in general, but she's my twin sister. It's like best friend from birth. That's like my best friend from birth. So, like, even if I didn't have any other friends, like, I have her.
That's awesome. And are you able to feel when she feels? I know some can do that.
I think, we have definitely a close relationship. We talk all the time. She is a little bit, even though I'm busy, like I call all my family. I talk to my dad pretty much every day or every other day, my mom all the time. And then I talk to my sister a lot. So I think not more so in that sense, but just feeling her energy kinda. So
Right.
yeah, in a sense, but I think it's just because we're just so close.
Excellent. Let me shout out. I am Shalakemia. Salute, Shalakemia. I got a video coming out with you in it. So you will definitely be tagged in the video. I think you're gonna like the way I put this video together. But Shalakemia. Now, I told you about the twin part. That's the twin. She says twin win.
Yes, twin. Yes.
So if you got them twin questions, she gonna have to cam up. But let's go back to the fine. And now I do know you have a platform that's devoted to it. So when you talk about budgeting, when you
Yeah.
talk about getting finances together, talk to me about what you're seeing when it comes to money and the whole budgeting finance part. What would you say should be what everybody needs to start learning to do right now, making it actionable?
Right. So I would say, because like I said on my channel, the credit cards do really well, but the budgeting, like for 2022, I really want to get the budgeting trending more. Get more views on my budgeting, because I really especially even with the credit cards, it's not so much for us just to be applying for a whole lot of credit cards and having a lot of credit card debt. I feel, because you know how sometimes when you say budgeting, it's just like budgeting, but I feel like budgeting gives you power.
Mm-hmm.
When you budget your money, you know where your money goes. You can tell your money what to do. And I just feel like it provides a sense of freedom for me when I budget. So I just feel like everybody should really either, I'll say budgeting,
Right.
reallocation of funds,
Okay.
just understand their spending habits and where their money is going. Because I definitely can say, even though I'm a budgeter, of course, there are times where it goes up and down, because it's just like once you start doing it, like you really know. But I would say from 2020, like it really opened my eyes, because to how much money, like let's say you really have coming in, because say for 2021, 2020, I had got a new car.
Mm-hmm.
And so originally when I had got the new car, so I got it for 60 months. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm going to pay the car off in 30 months. So then by the time that January came, 2021, I was just like, you know what? Because I was crunching the numbers. And I'm just like, I think that I'm going to be able to pay this car off in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just feel like if I was not budgeting, I don't think that I would have been able to do it, because just to really understand how much money we have, it's really like the small things that we're doing with our money that really just kind of nibbles off of it. And then the plans and the goals that we have for ourselves, we're not able to do that. And another reason that I had, like, I've always wanted to talk about budgeting. And because even like when I would at work, not necessarily because I work from home now, but because I've always traveled. And then people will say, well, they'll be counting your money and all that kind of stuff, or think that they're counting your money. But I would always say, I don't have any more money than you have. We just spend our money differently. Right?
I
Because I
like
don't have
that. I like that statement. I like that. Hold on
yeah,
one
like
second.
I don't have the new TVs, and and I always, I'm just not always out. I'd rather spend my money on traveling than maybe the gaming. And I'm not to say that that's bad, but it's just like, if you're, because I've had people specifically say that, but it's just like, if you look at where you're spending your money, you would see we're not any different. We're just spending our money. We have things that we value a little bit differently.
On your
And
channel, do you have consulting?
I don't have consulting. No. Mm-mm.
I have an idea for you. Before the billions with the 1999. Congratulations, Uncle Stu. Salute, salute. And salute to Big Bad Bull with the $50 cash app. Congratulations, my brother. I got your 6. Healing and solution in 2022. Yes, sir. Let me ask you this question, because I said I got something for you. Because do me a favor, okay, they already got your channel in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
Write the vision, make it plain. What should be people's vision for themselves for 2022, just as a whole, for anybody listening? What should be the vision?
I don't know that that's for me to say what somebody else's vision, but I would say, for me, what budgeting does is creating a plan. So you really have to sit down with yourself and really figure out, what do I really see myself doing within the next, even quarter? You can do it quarterly, yearly, or even 5-year or 10-year plan. So how do you see yourself? And then how can my money get me there? Or, because it's about, of course, you want financial freedom, you want health, you want, your mental. So you really want to sit down, because I know wealth engineering, I love to do a vision board, and he did a vision board. So it's just like, really, how do you see yourself? So it's just like, I would just say, if somebody wants to know what their vision or for 2022, really sit down with a pen and a piece of paper and really figure out, okay, are there some things that I may be complaining about? Let's say if you're saying that I don't have a lot of money, I always say do a budget, because sometimes I feel like it's not that we don't have enough money coming in. I'm not going to say that it's not the case that people don't make enough.
Right.
But what I'm saying is sometimes it's just that since we're not organized, we're just spending our money however, and then maybe we have a bill coming in before we get paid or something like that. So it's just like, do I just need to change when the bill is due? Do I just need to call my creditor and say, okay, can you change my due date to this day because I get paid, how I get paid? And it is just making me kind of stressed. You see what I'm saying? So really just figuring out, if I'm complaining about my money, how can I get that in order? And then if I'm saying I don't have enough money, once I do my budget, am I going to reveal that maybe I do? And then if it's a thing of that I'm wanting to travel, even if it's just because, I would say for myself right now, I do want to go to Puerto Rico this year. And but I think right now that I'm not really going to be doing any international travel. Right now, that's what I say, but we'll have to see. But it's just like, if it's a thing of that I want to travel, how can I make that happen? Do I want somebody to come clean the house? How can I make that happen? Do I want to get me, it's the beginning of the year and people trying to, lose weight and stuff. Do I have enough money to get me a trainer? Or do I even have enough to go get me a membership at Planet Fitness? You see what I'm saying? So really, I would say just sit down and just write out what are some things that are bothering you and how can you go about doing it. And you can go on YouTube or you can read books. There's so many different things that can help you to get to where you want to go.
That's excellent. If for you, and then if you don't mind, I'll drop the chat, see who want to come up, support you, ask questions, etc. Where you see yourself 5 years?
Where do I see myself? I had Intentional Millionaire on my channel, and one of my things, since I have paid off my auto loan, I did it in 1 year, so I'm just so happy that I was able to do that. So this year, what I want to do, I want to get me a Roth IRA. And so I do want to do that. So I'm really close to getting that set up. And I like to use my credit cards like a debit card. And so I said this year I'm gonna get me a free trip that's gonna be a hotel. I've never flown kind of like first class or business class, so I don't know. We'll see about that. If I have enough points.
All right.
So, and then maybe sprinkle some food in there too. So I said this year I want to get me a free trip using my points, my credit card points, my bonus points.
I might be able to help you in certain areas of getting certain things done because you seem to be a motivator. You seem to be an educator. Love your style, love your spirit. So, I might have to give an intention millionaire. We might have to put you as one of the educators in the Patreon.
Oh,
wow. And put you on the team so that you can help men and women, families, as opposed to going to your, go to your YouTube page. But I'm saying sometimes we need that one-on-one interaction. So it would help to, get someone, because it seems like when I got on YouTube and everybody heard of six figures, seems like everybody became a six-figure employee and everybody got all this money. And it's like, I don't see how y'all got six figures and you're still using your cell phone to be online. I ain't figured it out yet. But
Well,
those,
hold on, Uncle Stu. Hold on, Uncle Stu. What are you saying?
put me in my place, girl.
What are you saying? Are you saying that people cannot use their phones to record? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm using TLA's line. I'm gonna steal it from TLA. He told us everybody 45 and up, we're not allowed to have cell phones. Everybody 45 and under, they can use their
Uncle
cell phone.
Stu. Listen.
Look, I gotta get my brothers to level up. Some of them need to level up. Some of them's already up there, but I gotta get it right. I gotta get it right.
You're so funny.
Look, I'm a comedian, girl.
I use my phone to record, Uncle Stu. I have a camera that I paid for. I have that Sony ZV-1, and I could not figure out that daggone camera, and I use my cell phone to record.
Do we need to go to Nashville and show you how to use it? We'll come to Nashville and we'll show you how to use it, and then you can go ahead and hook us up with all the food. The question of the day: would you suggest one credit card over another?
Well, I would say one, you want to pull your credit. So you want to pull your credit so that you know what your credit score is and what's on your credit report. Right now, if you go to annualcreditreport.com, you can pull your credit report weekly until April of 2023. But I'm not suggesting that you pull it weekly, maybe monthly or quarterly, because your creditors report monthly. So I would say monthly. So why I say do that is because once you pull that, you'll kind of know where you stand. So do you have no credit? Do you have low credit? Or do you have good credit? And then that's going to be able to help you decide, okay, what kind of credit card that you can get. I recently did a video where I was talking about a cashback credit card. I think that the Discover It, they have the Discover It cashback. I think that is a pretty, I think that that's a pretty good credit card overall. But I would say before I start applying for credit cards, you really need to pull your credit and see kind of where you stand to determine what would be next. But then also understanding your spending. So are you dining out a lot? Are you going to the grocery store a lot? Are you traveling a lot and you're getting gas a lot? Because they have different credit cards that, let's say if you're going out to eat all the time, maybe the American Express Blue Preferred, they actually have 6% cash back on groceries. So that might be a really good credit card for you. So it's really just understanding your spending.
Got you. Chemo C says, congratulations. You're a wonderful addition to the YouTube space. Thank you. Salute to you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, and Jonathan
right, with the $20 super sticker. Salute.
Oh yeah.
Let me ask you this, and then I keep saying I'm gonna ask you, then drop the chat. Jonathan Barron says Chase Freedom Unlimited.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, I love I have 3 Chase credit cards. I recently had got the Chase Sapphire Preferred credit card, and so I get 100,000 bonus points. So that's like $1,250. So that's going to help me to be able to get my trip paid for. But yeah, Chase has good credit cards. My thing is, it really just depends on, because there's a good credit card out there for everybody, but you kind of have to start with square one. Where do you stand? And then what are the categories that you spend your money in? And that can kind of help you decide what credit card to get.
That's awesome. Let's go ahead and let's drop this chat. Let's see what the peoples, I'm going to talk bad English, what the peoples got to say. All right, y'all, I dropped the chat. And coming up, please make sure that I can see, who you are before I let you up on the panel itself. So if you have any questions at all, please come on up, ask her all kinds of questions. Her YouTube channel should be in the chat. If not, we'll make sure it's in the chat. You can go to a YouTube page.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to put her to work. We're going to give her some extra work. We're going to give her some extra work. Now, let me ask you this. I know you talk about budgeting. Do you deal with finance at all?
Well, that's why I say I'm more so on the front end of it, because finance has so many different levels. So, you have the intentional millionaire, you have wealth engineering, because they get into Roth IRAs, they get into crypto. And so I'm more so on the front end, just really understanding your spending, budgeting so that you can get your foundation in order. That's the number one thing that I talk about. And then that's when I start talking about the credit cards and things like that.
Okay, cool. Now, I like the fact that you talk about front end. From your experience being on YouTube so far, and I'm also going to presume you've done more interaction with people off of YouTube. Do you feel that we're societally, are we not concentrating on the front end, or we're not concentrating on the back end, or is it a mixture of the two?
In what way?
When I say that, we hear a lot, or I hear a lot of they're not teaching financial literacy in the school.
Oh, yes, in schools, most definitely. Right. I think that they should, bring that back, home ec and teaching, finance. I definitely think that they should teach that in the schools.
Okay. Now, so being that they don't teach it in the school, what should be our responsibility in making sure we learn financial literacy?
Right. I would say, especially, on YouTube, you can find anything. So it's just like balance out what you're doing, so it's okay to listen to all, those other things, but also really take the time to educate ourselves. So let's say if it's something that you're struggling with. So if I'm struggling with, okay, I'm living check to check. How can I get my money straight? Google, YouTube is pretty much just a search engine, typing in those things and really taking the time, even if it's just a little bit, just to figure out how can I help myself. Because especially once we get out of college, there is really no excuse. Because especially when you go to college and when you just become an adult, I feel like life kind of pushes you and you want to really kind of try to figure those things out. Right. And so you just have to educate yourself. But I do think that we have to do a good job. So let's say myself, like with my niece, because really what I did, I would help out like in my church with the college ministry and what I really wanted to do. And so that's why I'm so glad, like with my YouTube channel, that's why I like that I'm able to get a mass viewing, because it's just like sometimes I don't even know that we really consider, because sometimes we might get 300 views here, 800 views there. But, when you look at, let's say for a whole month, you might get 17,000 views. Just think. Right. 17,000 people have listened to something that you've said. And even if it's just a small percentage of people that actually take something and change, that can change that person and they might tell someone else. And so I really like that compared to when I had originally thought about doing, helping people with budgeting. I thought that it would be like maybe in a brick and mortar and it will be one-on-one, but it's just like doing it this way. I'm still able to maximize my time. Right. So I can still do things, but then I can get it out on more so of a larger scale at once.
Do you have, not if you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, do you have a regular job or is this your full-time business?
No, I have a full-time job. So I have a full-time job myself. I work from home.
Oh, okay. You go ahead. Now I gotta be able to say this right.
Let me see.
I gotta roll it Journey. Thank you. See, I gotta do the Jamaican accent. I'm trying to get that Jamaican accent in there. Who are you looking at?
Okay, so Jonathan, yeah, he says credit cards are only worth it if you know when and how to use them. Otherwise, please stay away. And I can agree with him on this 100%, because I can say, like, I feel like that's one part of the financial literacy that I don't think, we're pretty much taught credit cards are bad. Boo, boo, boo. But it's just like, I don't necessarily think that credit cards are bad. I feel like we have to understand, one, consumerism. Are we consuming so many things to where, because one, do we even know how much money we bring in compared, like how much money do we bring in compared to how much money do we have going out? And then how much money do we have left over? Do I have enough money to where I could get those sneakers, that I could go on that trip? You see what I'm saying? Because like, even when I had went to Dubai, my trip was already paid for. I had already paid for it. When I got back, I wasn't worrying about anything. You see what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna say, Uncle Stu. Now there have been times, a few years ago, to where I would, go on a trip and I would not pay. You see what I'm saying? I've paid my fair share of interest on a credit card, but now I know how to use credit cards to where I pay my credit cards off every month. I don't pay any interest on my credit cards. And because I like Dave Ramsey, and there's definitely some other people, financial literacy people out there that I would learn from. And so I have cut all my credit cards off before, to where I was just like, credit cards are bad, and I would just use cash, or I just use my debit card. But
Right.
now that I understand, but you know what? Even though I would cut them, I never closed them. And so it's just like now, but I feel like what that taught me the discipline, because I feel like to be able to have credit cards, you have to have the discipline to be able to do it. Because I have like 9 credit cards,
Mhm.
and none of my credit cards have a balance on it. I pay the credit cards off every month, but it's a discipline that you have to be able to do that. So I definitely agree with Jonathan stating that you have to know how to use them, when to use them, and you have to have that discipline you have to have that discipline to be able to, sometimes I have to deny myself some things, if I don't have it, because I don't want to carry a balance, every month. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Um so yes, I think discipline is the number one thing that you can say with credit cards.
Okay. Now, Russell's Journey says if you have to spend with credit cards, you can't afford it. How do you?
Well, I mean, I don't agree with that, because I use my credit cards like a debit card, but
Right.
I can understand what you're saying. And I just feel like you have, like, a person has to know themselves. So if I could not use my, let's say if I had a whole lot of credit card debt or something like that, and then maybe I couldn't trust myself with the credit cards, then I could possibly agree with it. But what I'm saying is, I think if I had never cut those credit cards off and, budgeted my money, use cash, use my debit cards, I had that foundation. I created a strong foundation and an understanding. And I feel like once we gain that understanding, to where financial freedom having your finances in order creates a freedom for yourself, I think that you can do it. So like, that's what I'm saying, I have 9 credit cards.
Right.
I mean, I have the money, I pay them off every month, so I don't agree, but I agree, because I understand where she's coming from. It's just, but I feel like it's a mindset. And
Okay.
so that's why I say, so because that's kind of what Jonathan is saying as well. So I kind of would never tell I'm not saying that this is something that everybody can do. So that's why I'm saying, for me, I always touch on budgeting. And so that's why I really want to get people to do that first,
Right.
and then see about transitioning into being able to have the credit cards. But I think, you can have one credit card. You don't need a whole lot of credit cards.
Gotcha. Let me give a big shout out to my girl, Spitting Fire in the house. Thank you. Salute to you. I want all my prayer warriors to pray for Spitting Fire and her household and her platform. I want y'all to pray for her. Keep her lifted up in prayer. And, you know, she's going to be hanging out with Uncle Stu. And we're going to let her spit fire on Uncle Stu's platform. But y'all definitely keep her lifted up. Get her through. Like I told her, spitting fire, you take care of you. It's about you. Uncle Stu going to be all right. You get your family in your house fully healthy, get that voice right, because I want to be able to hear them spitting fire lyrics and them spitting fire yellows, and then I need your daughter to do that yelling in the background like she was doing, you know, but you get that house right. Uncle Stu love you, and we definitely got you lifted up in prayer. Salute to you.
And so, like Jonathan Bernville, he said to Lash's Journey, my rule of thumb is if you cannot pay for it in cash right now, don't put it on a credit card. And basically, that's what I'm saying. So I do my budget every month, and I use my credit card like a debit card. Because, see, this is the thing, Uncle Stu. Okay.
Right.
If I was at the end of the year, if I was to tell you, if you use your credit card, but you paid it off every month, and I was to give you, because I would say it differs, but if I was to give you $1,700 at the end of the year for using your credit card, would you take $1,700?
Yeah, but I'm very disciplined when it comes to money. I think, you know, and Jonathan and Luscious, you helped me with this to see if I'm on the same page. I find a lot of people that don't have the discipline to deal with a lot of credit cards, because I'm the attitude of, if I spend 50 on my credit card within 2 weeks, that credit card gets paid off. But a lot of people would look at, or some people, because I don't know the numbers, some people look at, I got $1,000, so I'm gonna go spend $900 of this $1,000 and be paying off that $50.
See that, yeah, and see that's not, you know, and that's what I'm saying, and that's not what I teach on my channel,
right?
And I think that, and so that's where, to me, that's where it goes back to. So it's just like, usually whenever I'm talking about credit cards, I usually always like to talk about budgeting first, because it's just like I really want people to get in the mindset and to have that discipline to, because see, the thing is, it's not to say like I don't need the money from the credit card, but if I would take credit cards out of the equation, if I was to just, Uncle Stu, I'm gonna give you $1,700 at the end of the year, would you take it? Like, would you not take the money?
I take the money, but see, I do mine just like Jonathan does. I use my credit card as a debit card only because I'm getting the safety out the deal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I already know either A, that money is in the account already. So I'm just on my cell phone. I just swipe the credit card, come home and just switch the money and put it back on the credit card.
Yes, you know? Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Because she says I stay away from credit cards, period. It will keep you broke and depressed. And see, the thing is, and it's just like, I can't, you know, because like for me, I'm not in the business of telling anybody to get credit cards. So if that's her experience, then I say go for it. You know, that's your experience, because, you know, that's how you feel.
Because if you use the Dave, you know, I do study different financial people. If you go on the Dave Ramsey philosophy,
oh yeah, he says
ain't no credit card.
That's the thing that
you know, I only argue with Dave Ramsey because what used to work in the 70s and 80s and 90s, it ain't really working 2020, because you can't afford, most people can't afford college out of pocket. But that's a whole nother subject. But there are a lot of good Dave Ramsey things that I do agree with. And
I feel like I agree with Dave Ramsey on everything except for credit cards. But I'm only saying this now. You know, that's what I'm saying. Before, I have not used credit cards, but I would also ask, so do you not have a credit score? Does she not have a credit score? Because I know too that she's a
Luscious Journey. Do you mind camming up so that way we can get clarity on how you run your everyone, give a big shout out to the lead attorney. Salute. Thank you, sir, with the $100 cash. Hey, Lee, I didn't want you to know Jonathan Barron is like up at 200 and some change. So you're part of the lead attorney.
What's up, the lead attorney?
Yes, salute.
I can't wait for that course to come out. And then Jonathan Berryville also said, and I agree with this too, because he says Dave Ramsey says that he doesn't care about a credit score, but
yeah,
but see, the thing
here's
is,
the reason why Dave Ramsey can say that. His business is his financial
right
income. So
yeah, because see, that's the thing, like
amount of money, you don't need a credit card.
Yeah, but then it's like I can see both ways in it, because even if, let's say, if you don't have bad credit, but you have no credit, but then let's say you've been on your job for a considerable amount of time, you're not job hopping and all that kind of stuff, to where, let's say, if you went to get a house and you got underwriting or something like that, to where they would still be able to get your information, still be able to get a house, then I would say, of course, still do it that way. You don't have to do credit cards, and you can do credit cards. I say do what's for you, to where you're not going to be stressed and depressed, on whatever you do.
Right. Again, let me just say thank you to the lead attorney. Lead, I don't know if you was here earlier. I thank you for allowing me to be on this journey. You definitely was a motivator for me to be on this journey. I definitely understand how it feels. Even if you get the $1.99, the fact that someone feels you're worthy of their money, their time. And so, yes, I do not take it lightly. So the lead attorney, I just want to send you a special love, special shout out, and say thank you. Look, lead attorney, we learned this one from you. Vaughn, put the lead attorney's YouTube page in the chat for me, please. Make sure to hit the lead attorney. Put his YouTube page in the chat, just in case nobody know. Put his YouTube page in the chat. Appreciate you.
That is so funny.
But
let's see. Why do banks give us credit cards? But a bank is not going to give everybody a credit card.
I'm gonna get you know why she done spent like 800 hours on her live stream.
Oh, she did?
Come up. Yeah, she probably lost her voice playing around with the babies and having these long conversations. She good people. She good people. Matter of fact,
and that's what I'm saying. I totally can agree with what she's stating. If that's how you feel, because like, let's say my brother, he doesn't have any credit cards, and I say that's great. Because there are a lot of different, let's say maybe you just want to get a credit card to purchase things online. I do think that it offers some protection by, purchasing things online. But on the one hand, you don't need a credit card.
Right.
So, I mean, even if I cut off all my credit cards today, I would still be okay.
Gotcha. And I guess it can go to, it's all personal preference versus.
That's what I'm saying. It's all personal preference.
Right. All right, what JB say?
Yes,
honestly,
I agree.
Is a bit extreme. I recommend him any day to the average person. Yeah, I got his book. I definitely got his book. I definitely don't dismiss him as far as who he is and his knowledge.
I actually, I know what you said, Uncle Stu, but I feel like his philosophy is still good now. You see what I'm saying?
No. What I mean is, because like when I got out the military, you can actually go to college and never have a debt. You can actually get a 4-year degree and come out without a debt. Where I'm seeing now, it's hard to go 4 years and not come out with a debt. That's why I said it's a little switch. But no, as far as who he is, absolutely. I don't know if I shouted. Let me just make sure I'm getting the right shout outs. Matt from Tender, I want to shout you out. You was the first one behind you was the number one person that did the first Cash App for $50. Shout out to you. You know, Matt gave me a little joke because a situation happened in the chat, and I was like, well, I'm gonna use Matt. And Matt, my daughter they wasn't talking, but they was both in conversation. And so he made a joke, said, Dad, Uncle Stu, you really made me famous. So I'm making you famous on a whole different way now. You know. But yeah, he has really had my back from the very beginning. And Big Bad Bull, so many of them.
Yeah, but but even taking a look at what Matt said, banks are just pimping out their customer base to credit card companies for a percentage. Banks are the middleman, and I would say, like if you're paying interest on a credit card, then yeah. But if you're paying your credit card off every month, if you're doing, it's like on the one hand, I'm not. Even though I have credit cards and I like to use credit cards, I'm not, basically the bank is paying me to, because I'm using my credit card and I'm paying it off every month. A secured card, I do think it's okay to get a secured credit card. Let's say it's somebody that has no credit or low credit, because the thing is, so they say most people don't even have $400 for an emergency. So if you don't need, do you have $400 to put on a secure credit card and you just not even worry about that $400? Because at that point with a secure credit card, you are your bank, because you're putting your $400, but then on the same hand, you have to pay that. Once you start spending that money on the credit card, you have to pay it off. So can you put $400 on a credit card or $1,000 on a credit card and not think about it and just use the credit card and pay it off every month? So I say, yes, if you're trying to build credit, I think go for it. A secure credit card, it is the way to go.
Okay. JB.
Yes, sir.
All right. You are on and popping.
Hey, Jonathan.
Well, first of all, congratulations, Uncle Stu.
Thank you, sir.
You did it. I already listen, Uncle Stu. What did I tell you? I told you when this moment happened, you were gonna long stroke us, and that's exactly what you did. I told you it was gonna happen. That's exactly what you did.
No, okay. Let me show you how it was done. Major Change Group was supposed to be here at 8 o'clock anyway. I was originally supposed to, your auntie wanted the stream set up at 7:30. But I knew I was going to have a long talk. So you blame that on the lead. I learned that one from the lead attorney himself.
But yeah, but hey, shout out to Tasha. She definitely knows her stuff, man. She's very brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really enjoy listening to this type of information. Honestly, I don't even want to steal your thunder, Tasha, but I just wanted to.
Oh no, you can definitely, because I know you have a lot of great information, even with the crypto and things, and
yeah. So these topics actually are very important to me, right? Because I think, unfortunately, a lot of people, especially a lot of Black folks, don't fully understand the financial system, and so I think everything, even beyond just credit cards, just the banking system itself, right? Like, even just how to bank properly. I think most folks don't know how to bank properly, right? And that's something that we can have a whole conversation about that. But on the credit cards, I think it was Lashes who asked the question about. I think her question was, why do banks offer give us credit cards? I think was her question, right? Because I really wanted to answer that. So for those who don't know, if everybody who got a credit card paid off their balance at the end of the month, the credit card industry would basically go bankrupt instantly, right? So what credit card companies or specifically financial institutions, what they're banking on when they create the credit card product is they're banking on the people who won't pay off their balances, right? And that's such a large number that they make so much money off of it that's how they're actually able to create all these rewards for to offer you as an incentive, right? So they attract you with these rewards, but they know that you're going to end up paying them more anyway through the interest. And so essentially what happens with credit cards is it's a much simpler system than people realize. It's basically a system where the people who use credit cards irresponsibly, or at least not properly, they end up subsidizing it for the people who use it properly, right? So the people who actually get to take advantage of the points but still pay off their balances, get to get the bonuses, and still pay off their balances, right? Those people get to actually enjoy, those I guess those benefits, right?
Mm-hmm.
While you sit there and you're paying off a balance that you can never pay off because the interest is constantly growing, right? And they're just making a lot of money off of that. That's pretty much what actuaries do, right? Like that's pretty much what they do is they sit there and they calculate the probabilities of people actually paying off this debt. And unfortunately, like even if you ask like the average person, some of the most important things about their credit cards, they couldn't tell you. Like for example, you should technically know what your daily interest rate is, right? If you're using your credit card regularly, you should know what your daily interest rate is. But most people don't even know what that is or even how to calculate that, right? Because that actually is how the credit card companies calculate your interest, right? They calculate based on your daily interest rate. It's not an annual interest rate or the monthly interest rate. It's based on the daily interest rate. But most people don't even know that number or how to derive it. And so I guess I just wanted to point out that this is why I'm always kind of like, because on one hand, I think Dave Ramsey is very extreme, right? I think he's very extreme, but it's for good reason, because a lot of people who are coming to Dave Ramsey, right? They're coming to him with, a bunch of debt, and he's just trying to get them out of debt, and he's trying to get them in a mind frame where they don't have to think about credit as the answer to all their problems, right? And so when he's approaching it from that perspective, I can fully understand him saying, hey, you need to cut up all those credit cards. You need to start with these baby steps. You need to do all this stuff. I think that's way better for the average person.
Mm-hmm.
On the opposite side, though, I know for a fact that it's actually much smarter to use credit cards for a number of reasons, right? Like it's actually much smarter on a day-to-day basis. Anything that you do with a debit card, it's smarter to use credit cards for them. And the primary reason is security, right? Because if something happens, like let's say you lose your credit card and somebody runs up, some charges on it, that's the bank's money. And that's one of the actual, that's actually what makes this so powerful, is that if you lose your debit card, the bank will still try to help you, but they have less an incentive to do so, right? But when it's a credit card, because they're extending credit to you, they have more incentive to figure out what happened. And on top of that, because it's also a good representation of their benefits, right? They're going to basically say, okay, at least as we investigate this, we'll credit you some that amount back, and like they'll figure out something, right? And so that security alone is worth you using credit cards over debit cards, right? And so I would actually recommend to most people, I would want to recommend to them to use credit cards, but then I'm always scared to do so, because the moment people start using credit cards, they look at it as free money, and it's like it's not free money, it's debt. And you need to understand that this is debt. It's not free money. Mm-hmm. And so if you're not ready to, if you're going to make an expense right now, and it's going to cost you $500, if you could not actually spend that $500 on your debit card right now, you should not be spending it. But because that disconnect between your credit card and your bank account exists, most people, they just, for some reason, cannot understand that, hey, you should not spend this money on your credit card if you're not ready to pay it off right now. Right. So I don't know if I'm making any sense, but
you basically saying everything that I said. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, I love Dave Ramsey. And that's what I'm saying. When I did the Dave Ramsey plan, I feel like it created that discipline for myself. So now I'm able to use the credit cards in a more responsible way, to where, I'm getting the perks of it, but I'm just doing it with my natural spending. I'm not stating to go out here and do additional spending, because the thing is, I'm using my credit card like my debit card. So since I'm doing my budgeting at the beginning of the month, I know how much money I have to spend. And so I use my credit cards, for everything except for maybe like my mortgage and a few other things. And then I pay the credit card off every month. So, but if it's something that because Dave Ramsey says, live like no one else so that you can live like no one else. And I was talking to somebody the other day. It's either going to be on the front end or the back end. Are you going to have, like on the front end, especially when you're younger, if you are getting your money straight, you're getting your foundation straight, so that when you are at retirement age, or even 50 or 60, because if you do what you're supposed to do at an earlier age, when you get to that age, you can live like no one else. Or on the front end, you're going to just be creating a lot of debt for yourself, and then when you're in retirement age, then you're still going to be working and stuff. So I don't know.
No, you're no, Tasha, you're spot on. You're saying I don't know, you're spot on. You listen, you be spinning that fire, Tasha. So yeah, you're spot on. I think one other thing I want to touch on, actually, that I think Dave Ramsey, so he talks about savings, right? And again, we have to remember that Dave Ramsey's talking to the average masses, right? People who already have issues with debt, and so this is where I'm always torn, because it's like it's both the best advice for the average masses and also actually the worst advice, right? When it comes to saving, like the idea of saving money, right? Now, we have to make this disclaimer, Uncle Stu, that I'm not a financial advisor, blah 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 blah, whatever.
Yeah,
okay?
I got it. Go ahead, moderators. Y'all supposed to put up in there. Let me say this real quick.
Listen.
Shout out to Gaston's World for the $4.99 super sticker. Appreciate you. All right, make it work, make it happen, sir.
Yeah, so I'm just a random broken dusty on the internet, okay? So no need to listen to me, okay? But I do want to say this, all right? Saving money is a terrible idea, right? You should be investing instead, right? And not just that, even in checking accounts, like most people don't have that much money in their checking accounts anyway, but people are so comfortable leaving money in their checking accounts when they should be figuring out ways to make that money work for them. Because what people don't understand is that when you just have money, okay, so one of the primary things that people don't understand about banks, right, is how they work. The bank's sole purpose of taking your money is essentially to loan it out. But it's not their sole purpose, but that's pretty much how they make their money, is they rely on your balances, right? So when you create a checking account, what you're creating internally is a deposit account. And what they're doing is basically, if you ever look at your bank statement, right, you'll always see pretty much every bank will show a number on there that says your daily average balance, right? That daily average balance, pretty much all the banks, what they do is they'll use, behind the scenes, they use these numbers, right, for all of their customers. And they use these numbers to basically figure out how much money, how much cash they have on hand based on what you've what you've deposited at their institution. And, based on certain laws and whatnot, they have certain reserves that they're supposed to keep. But essentially what the banks do is they'll watch your patterns, for example, and see, okay, how much you do withdraw, like, are you somebody who seems to spend on impulse? Like they look at a number of different indicators, right? And then what they'll do is they figure out how, they essentially figure out what your daily average balance is, and if they can use your money. But it's not just you, Tasha, the individual. They're doing this for all their customers, and essentially they're using your money to loan it out. And when they're loaning out your money, they're loaning out, at pretty for a pretty decent amount of interest, right? And they're not offering you anything in return, right? You have some savings account that claim to offer you some kind of APY, right? But the highest APY that exists right now is 0.5%. And that's by Marcus by Goldman Sachs, right? They're the ones, as far as I know, that offer the highest APY, and that's 0.5% APY, right? That they're offering you. And the issue is the issue with that is that what ends up happening is you put your money, especially with savings accounts. Now I know somebody who works in the banking sector who told me they changed this rule, so I haven't verified this. So maybe they have already changed it, but at least as of when I last looked into this, savings accounts, they tend to put a restriction of 6 withdrawals maximum per month on you, right?
And that is correct. Hold on, Jonathan. Shout out to Thinking Man's Podcast for the $50 Cash App. Thank you, sir. Yeah, Jonathan, that is correct. That on a savings account, if you withdraw it 6 times, they can shut it down. That's a federal law, my understanding.
Yeah, so they put that restriction, and I think some people think it's for their own protection. No, it actually makes it easier for the bank to predict behavior, right? For the bank to know that, you can't withdraw more than a certain, like if you already withdrawn 5 times this month and you withdraw another time, then it's easier for them to know, to predict how much money they'll have left, right? And that's just, again, that's just one indicator that, they have these more sophisticated systems. But the point being is that they're taking all this money, right, that people are putting in these accounts, and they're making a shit ton of money off of it, and they're offering you peanuts, right? Like nothing. They're offering you nothing, and people are just putting a ton of money in these accounts, and not just again, most people don't have that much money, but people feel too comfortable, in my opinion, leaving money sitting in their bank accounts, right? And so instead, what people should be doing is investing that money. And so I think even before we get to credit cards, for me, that's the kind of message I like to try to share with people, is to actually understand how the banks work first. Like, how do the banks work? Why do you even have a bank account? How much money are you leaving in there? Right? It's one thing to get paid in your bank account. Like, I understand direct deposit and whatnot. Doesn't mean the money needs to stay there. Right?
Right.
You should set up different ways to invest your money. Right? And we could also talk about that as well, right? So that your money is making you actual interest, right? It's making you actual, it's making you money overnight, right? Like while you sleep, it's actually making you money, versus just sitting there and you're actually losing money, by the way. When you have, that's actually the key thing. Sorry, that's actually the key thing, that the key thing here is when you have money sitting in a bank account, you're losing. And the reason you're losing is because of inflation, right? And since they're not providing you any kind of return that will beat inflation, you're losing money, because your money loses the amount of the value of your money decreases, essentially, right? And this, the simplest way I could explain that, the value of your money decreases, right? Because it has less spending power, right? So if it's just sitting there, and you think, a lot of people feel safer just being able to look at it. Like, I log into my bank account, I can see all this money, I feel safer. But really, you should want something that when you look over time, you're like, okay, I'm getting, even if you're getting like 7%, annual return, that's actually pretty decent return, right? Versus just having the money sitting in a bank account, right? And so you could have like, you could get an index fund, right? Put some money in an index fund, like S&P 500 index fund, and you're gonna get somewhere between like what is it, like 7 and 9%, I think. So you're gonna get, yeah, exactly. So you put that in an index fund rather than have it sitting in a bank account. Or if you want to be able to not have to wait too long, if you have some emergency, if you just want to have an emergency fund, that still doesn't have to be sitting in a bank account, right? You could have your emergency fund be invested in some stable stocks, for example, right? Pick some stable stocks and put your money in that, and at least if it's some stocks that have been stable for like the past 10 years, 20 years, right? And you can kind of look at them and say, okay, what's the likelihood of this stock just crashing, right? Put your money on that versus having it sitting there. At least you're gaining something. So
now,
anyway,
Jonathan, do you know, even on the Roth IRA, because I want to give me a Roth IRA, you can take out what you put in, right, on the Roth IRA?
I actually don't know much about Roth IRAs, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. You said investment over savings. If you had to give it a suggestion, how much would you keep in checking versus investing the rest?
Oh, my personal opinion, and a lot of people disagree with this, but I think it's because they just don't get it. I don't think you should have more than a few $1,000 maximum in a checking account, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like more than a few $1,000s. And the number one thing I always have people ask me is, well, what if, again, the emergency fund thing? And I almost feel like some people feel like they're gonna get locked up and they're gonna need to bail out or some shit, because it's like people always so worried. They always want, like, I just want quick access to this money. And I'm just like, I don't think you really need it that quickly. And the thing is, even if you needed it that quickly, right? Like, let's say you go with the stable stock option that I just mentioned, right? If you take your money and you say, okay, I'm gonna basically invest in Apple, Microsoft, whatever. Like, you pick some of these stable stocks, right? And you say, I'm gonna pour, let's say, I don't know, let's say 10K, right? In these stocks, right? Now, when you go to, let's say you have an emergency, and let's say you pour it into that, and then you make that brokerage account, you make that your emergency fund, right? When you have an emergency, you cash out, right? When you cash out, now you have to wait for the you have to wait for it for the sales to settle, basically, right? And the settlement is typically like 2 business days. What a lot of people don't realize, or actually don't know, is technically, if you actually have an emergency, you can actually just call your broker, right? You can actually just call your broker once you've made that sale, because the settlement is more of a formality, right? It's more of a formality on their back end. So you can actually just call your broker and say, hey, I've sold this stock. I'm in a situation right now where I do need the cash, because they won't make the cash available to you until it's settled, until the sale has settled. But if you actually contact your broker, right, and you just let them know you're, like, if you were really in that emergency situation, you contact your broker, they would make it available to you. In most cases, they'll just make it available to you. So so in other words, it wouldn't be, if you're really in that situation where you need it that quickly, like if you get your ass locked up, just call your broker, right?
Look, you get locked up, you ain't gonna be able to call a broker.
But I'm saying, well, I mean, it seems to me like, because that's the only, I can never understand why people want, like, people are so afraid of having their money in investments that's making them money, right? They're so afraid of that because they're like, I need it. What if I need it now? And I'm just like, bro, why do you need it so quickly? And that getting locked up is the only thing I can think of where, like, someone feels like they need that money instantly. But all I'm saying is this, is that if you really did need it that quickly for whatever the reason is, and you can't wait until the sale has settled, you could just contact your broker and they'll make it available to you. Especially if you have a history, I mean, of just, doing transactions with them. They'll just look at your history, because again, it's a formality to prevent certain things and whatnot. But for the most part, if you have a history, if you've been with them for a while, right, and you have a history, they'll make it available to you.
Right.
That is some great information, Jonathan.
All right, we got. This is my brother. I always gotta speak Nigerian to him because he's from Nigeria. So he didn't know that Uncle Stu knew how to say a little something. Uncle Stu know a little something, because I said something in his language. He was in the chat and he translated it because everybody was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "He got it." Yeah, that's my next go-to overseas trip, is to go back to Nigeria and see the new. Now he's gonna understand what I'm saying. Lagos is called Little New York, but it's one of their major cities. But we're gonna try it. We're gonna try it. So JB, what else you got for us, man?
Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Are you there?
Like it's kind of breaking up on your end, so I can't tell if it's me or if it's you guys.
We can hear you now.
We can hear you.
Okay, cool. As long as you guys can hear me, because it seems there's some delay. No, so what I was gonna say, by the way, is when you mentioned Tasha, when you mentioned the Roth IRA, so I'll make a confession here. Like I'm not a big fan of retirement accounts. In general, right? Then that's just me, and I know I'm kind of a loner in this. I'm not a big fan of them just because I don't like the idea of having, like, I'm very much against the penalties, right? I don't like the idea of having my money, basically being able to putting my funds in something where they're stuck, and then if I need to make certain decisions, I don't like handcuffs. Financially, like, Matt, they feel like handcuffs to me whenever I.
And Matt said that because I know on your 401k you will take a hit, but Matt from Tinder said Roth IRA is the best retirement fund because you can grow your investment tax free and you won't owe any taxes when you withdraw at 59.5. But I also thought that you could withdraw whatever you put in there, but don't quote me on that because I thought that was the case.
But you
will get a penalty. Yeah. If you do it before that time. So I really do understand both arguments equally. If I understand what BJ is saying, because he's saying, say for an example, a situation happens and you need to tap into that money at 45, you're going to be penalized because you're doing it early. there's very few ways you can tap into it without being penalized. You know, if you're doing it for your first home, then you won't be penalized. If you're doing it to pay for college, you won't be penalized. But suppose if you already got the home, your kids is already graduated, and you need the money, you're going to get penalized. So what he's saying is, for him, he don't want to put his money in something where at any time it can be withdrawn. Because think about it, could we have predicted where we at now? You know what I'm saying? Like, this wouldn't have been the type of an emergency you would even think about. So yeah, I can definitely understand it, but I understand the flip side.
Right.
You know, the tax deferment, you know, while you're building up the interest. So it can go both ways. So I understand both sides of that.
I just like
You just went out, Jonathan.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we
Okay,
can
we
hear
can
you
hear
now.
you.
Oh, we can't hear you now. Oh, it dropped off.
It dropped off.
Yeah, but see, that's what I like about what Jonathan is saying. Even though he's saying that he doesn't like, you know, per se the retirement funds, he's also educating himself and doing things to know what's good for him. So, you know, it's good to know what's good for yourself.
Right, right, right.
What's up before the millions?
Hey, salute.
Yeah, so he's teaching us how to operate in the billionaire status, you know.
I know. And before the billions, I wanted to join your live earlier because you had some really good information in regards to interviewing.
Thank you.
Hey, can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, sir. We can.
Okay, I don't know what happened there. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
Hey, can I just finish? Oh, before the billions. I didn't notice you. Shout out before the billions.
Good, JB.
Hey, let me just finish making the point before, because I don't know what's going on with my internet. I think it's my internet. But I'm on mobile, so but so here's what I was saying though. I think my issue is more so the fact that this is why I like crypto, for example, right? Because I have full control over what I do with my funds, with my crypto, how I trade them, et cetera, and what strategies I implement. My frustrations with, like, I've had 401ks, right? And I actually have a 401k right now, right? And so for example, when it comes to a 401k, yes, I would think, like, especially if your employer is matching, is providing a match, definitely take advantage of that, right? It doesn't hurt for you to, take advantage of, the match that you're getting and get those funds, right? Like, I have nothing against that. But when it comes to me going and actually creating my own, setting up my own Roth IRA or anything like that, like, I just don't like the idea of my money being stuck in one. Just I don't like the idea of my money being stuck and then me being penalized if I want to take it out and do something with it, or I have to follow these strict guidelines, these strict rules. And I don't know, for me, it just rubs me the wrong way, right? I'm kind of a control freak when it comes to my finances, right? So I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm kind of, for me, just the control freak in me.
I think it makes total sense. And that's what I was saying. But what I like about you is that you understand that aspect, but you're also educating yourself and you're doing other things. You're still doing other things, and you're just not out here just, kind of going rogue. You have a reason why you don't like that.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty much, it's purely just a control freak in me. That's it. It's this, like, it's even, okay, I'll give you an example, right? Even my 401k, right? I've looked at my 401k and I'm like, I kind of want to take these funds and do this with that. And it's like, you're limited, but with so for example, if you have like the 401k I have, it's in Fidelity, right? You're limited to the funds that they the options that they give you, right? Unless you decide to I think you can like roll it over or something to an IRA and then invest it yourself, but they just, I don't know, to me they just make it too complicated, right, for me to do what I want with my investments, right? And that's how I look at it. And so it's like, if it's really my investments, I want to be able to fully control it and do whatever I want with it. And retirement accounts just make make me feel like I don't have control, which I mean, not make me feel that I pretty much don't have control, and I just don't like it. And I know, and I'm not saying other people shouldn't. I'm just saying that's just me. And so that's why like I kind of avoid them. I only do the 401k, and you know, if your employer offers you a match, definitely take advantage of that, obviously, because that's almost like, you know, saying no to free money. But other than that, you know, I invest myself. You know, I set up my own brokerage accounts and I invest myself.
Right. And see, that's what I'm saying. You're still investing in other ways, so you still have a plan, and that's what I like. You're just not doing anything.
Correct. But yeah, I didn't mean to steal your thunder, Tasha. You know, you, like I said,
no, you know, I really enjoyed what you were giving us.
Oh yeah, we need a lot of education on these YouTube streets. We need to really teach people to stop. You know, as Pocket Watching with JT say, stop going after these financial gurus and really learn money and investments and learning how to really operate in all the financial ways. I love it. Being that you're a billionaire, you know, JB only hangs out on islands at a time. Before the billions hangs out of islands, you know, he takes over 2, 3 and just chill at one.
Listen, I'm broke and dusty. You know, before the billions, he's on another level. You know, so.
Yeah, he's on a whole nother level, you know.
Right.
How are you guys doing today?
Doing well,
Great.
sir.
It's great. I'm glad to be up here. Congratulations again, Uncle Stu, for
Thank
reaching
you.
your monetization goals.
Yes, and we got to hurry up and get your watch hours in. Where
I'm
we at
getting
now?
up there.
Okay, where we at now?
We at 300. Oh, sorry, 3,200 something.
Oh, okay.
All right, yeah.
That's right there.
Everybody that hears it, let's at least go and watch a video. Watch one of his videos. Let's get them monetized. That's this week. Let them be monetized by the end of this week. 4,000 watch hours.
Yeah, because that's how the whole
you gotta go. Yeah, if everybody just watch a video, he should be there. So let's help him out. Let's help him out. You know, we all a team. We all a team. And he's definitely part of my team. So, you know, I need to get him monetized and we can put him to work. More work.
Good, JB.
I think Jonathan was saying something.
JB, you were saying something. Okay, go ahead before the billions. He might be.
Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, now
okay, I'm gonna just say this and then hop off because I'm getting tired of this internet. I need to get back. I need to get back home. So that anyway, what I was gonna say is you know, I woke up in the middle of the night last night. It was like 3 a.m. I'm pretty sure it was like 3 a.m. Right? And for some reason I clicked on YouTube and the first thing that shows up on my feed is this guy right here in Gaston's World at 3 a.m. And I'm like, what are they doing? Like I just woke up to go pee. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are y'all at 3 a.m.? What are y'all doing?
You're just talking, man.
Yeah, and got credit from TLA and turned around and he had to jump on Suzette's speech platform.
Get up there and talk, man. Having a good conversation.
But yeah, I'm gonna hop off because this internet's pissing me off. So I'm gonna hop off.
Well, have a great night.
All right, JB.
All right, JB. Appreciate the knowledge and the wisdom, sir.
All right. So
salute to you, Peter the investor. Thank you
Peter,
for the
how you doing?
Yeah, salute to Peter. Peter is great, man. He's always giving us great questions and supporting. So I was gonna give Peter Investor him a shout out. Yeah. Ever since I first started my channel, I was like, man, Peter has been coming through. Also something that when JB was talking about, it did bring me to this quote talking about Albert Einstein talking about the eighth wonder of the world. So the quote goes like this. It says, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, and he who doesn't pays it." So
Mm.
all that to say is that the earlier you get into a certain investment, the more time you have into that investment, the more interest you gain, and that interest then compounds exponentially as time progresses. So, the earlier you start your investment journey, then the more money you will have as years progress, and as you get to the point where you want to retire, then that money, that nest egg, will be there for you, right? So, but of course, this is not financial advice. This is just based off of the quote.
Right.
So, that was a full quote right there.
That was a full quote right
I'm playing.
there. Look,
But
look,
this is
look.
just financial information.
Is Gail still in the chat? Remember now, Gail trying to get the 30-second pitch on. See?
Right. So, and Tasha, thank you so much for giving all this information, not only about like financial literacy, but also about credit as well. Um, and I went up on Suzanne Speaks channel before to talk to you about credit, and I don't know if you heard, but I was able to get my credit up to 762.
Yes, that is amazing.
Congratulations.
Shout out.
Congratulations.
Yes, and Mr. Real Estate was like, man, after you get up to 750, you just kind of being like, you don't really need to get any further. It's just if you want to.
Just for bragging rights.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to brag.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Usually I don't pat myself on the back.
Right.
Look, I can do it now.
Oh.
But I went up on Pocket Watch with JT, and I went up there, was it yesterday? And he was talking about living paycheck to paycheck,
Ooh.
how to stop living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
And I went up there and I was giving some of the ways that I stopped living paycheck to paycheck, because I was brought up. I know Miss Laquita from Blind Guy His Wife a lot. They were saying, "Oh, it's called the black tax, where you're helping out your family so much that you pretty much giving up your all your money away to like your mom or grandma or whatever, to help to keep them afloat, and or maybe your uncle come up to you at the cookout or the barbecue, ask you if you got $20 to tomorrow, something like that happens, and that is what I experienced, where like I had my grandma, she needed a new car, and my dad was like, "Okay, I'm about to go ahead and get your grandma a new car." So I said, "You know what, Dad? I can help you with purchasing it." So we ended up purchasing a new car for my grandma, and then I had to help. I'm helping out my mom as well, so I'm helping her pay bills and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Even
And
though I
you even
moved out
co-signed for your mom too, right?
for a house, or
Did you co-sign for your mom for something?
hmm.
Oh, okay. I
No,
thought
she actually, she asked me to. That was the thing. I can tell you the story if you want to hear it. It's actually pretty interesting.
Y'all know
My
that.
mom.
Y'all know before the billions. That's his mantra right there. Go on, tell the story. Go tell the
tell the
story, sir.
story. Tell the
All right, so
story.
this is the
Look,
story of
I'm even gonna put you at the top. Let me
Yes.
do this right here. Go ahead and tell the story, sir.
All right, so this is the story of the bad first real estate investment. So my mom became she's now a realtor, but this is before she became a realtor. She actually wanted to get into real estate investing, and she had saved up some money, and she was like, "Okay, I got enough money to where I can go ahead and invest in a real estate property, put down the down payment, and everything. I just need a co-signer to actually do that." So at that time, it was some years ago, and I was young, and I was scared of credit. So I didn't have any credit. I was like, "Man, I don't have any credit. Let me just go ahead." And my mom kind of talked me into it. She's like, "Oh, I can't get it unless she had some credit, and then I ended up saying, okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and get a credit card. I got a credit card. I had like a very low credit score. I had like a 500, 600, something like that, because I went from nothing to starting to have something, right? So it was good enough to where I could help her with co-signing. So I said, okay, you know what? After some months passed, I was able to co-sign for or whatever, or start up that process because we found a house, and this is in Atlanta. The house is in the hood though. So this is in the hood, and we're like, okay, you know what? We can go over to this house, and we can check it out and stuff like that. During that time, my mom finally got her realtor's license, so she's trying to do real estate investment, and then she's just finally became a realtor. So we're like, okay, cool. Uh, we actually did a walkthrough of this house, and she was trying to have her cousin as her real estate agent. So working with your family sometimes doesn't work out. So the our realtor our real estate agent cousin was extremely late for this walkthrough. We supposed to be having the investor, not the investor, but the inspector come in, and the inspector was sitting up here waiting like a whole hour. We're waiting an hour and 30 minutes because we got there early, and we're like, dang, they're showing up so late. This house is extremely nasty. It's in the middle of the hood, so like the houses are super close to each other. The roof was caved in, um, and then like yeah, like the fence that's like torn down and stuff. And we're like, okay, you know what? I was like, Mom, are you sure that you want to invest in this house? Oh yeah, we can invest in it and just put some money into it, fix it up. When I tell you, and also it was a very old house as well, like where it was like you have on shoes and you feel uncomfortable walking on the floor because you feel like it's gonna go through your shoes. You know what I mean? That's how nasty the floor was. We go in there, and she's like, okay, you know what? She's talking to the investor. I mean the inspector. Inspector's like, okay, this is gonna cost you at least 50,000 or more. Could go all the way up to $100,000 just to fix up this house. Uh, so she was like, man, you might as well just tear it down and then build a whole nother house. Anyway, we uh we were about to go ahead and sign it. We actually put down our earnest money to actually buy this home. So we only put like $1,000 for the earnest money. And then after the inspector had told her that, she got a second opinion, and the other inspector said, yeah, it's gonna be around that much. My mom was like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. The lady who was selling the house is gonna make too much money, too much profit off of it, based off of us having to not only pay the down payment but also be in the hole for fixing up the house. And they ended up. My mom told our cousin, like, hey, you know what? Forget it. Let me get my earnest money back. It's within my due diligence period. Let me go ahead and get my $1,000 back. And she was like, all right, cool, I'll get to it. Not only was she late getting to the house for the walkthrough, she was waiting a long time for us to get our money back. She actually waited until after the due diligence period for her to go up there and ask for the money back. So we're like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? My mom was stressed because she was like, I ain't just gonna give away $1,000 just so that way we can not buy this house. You know what I mean? You're just giving away money at that point. So for the people who don't know, the earnest money is like my business is good. So if you go over your period, your due diligence period, due diligence is like usually between 3 days. Some people go up to a week. Some people don't have any due diligence period at all. Especially in the sellers market. So we had like 4 days or something like that for due diligence. She waited till like the fifth day, and it was just because the lady was nice enough. She's like, okay, you know what? I know the contract says this. you had already requested for it to be given back to you. She gave us back the $1,000, and um, that was it caused a huge rift between the family because the real estate agent was like, oh, like, why am I gonna ask the lady to give her house away for free? And it was really because we found out that that was her cousin who owned that house. So our cousin was trying to give her other cousin the hookup and
Wow.
had us over here about to miss out on $1,000, give it away for no reason. So
Wow.
that's pretty much what happened. We did not go through with me co-signing or anything like that.
That was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's even better because somebody else another investor bought that house. That house, they said, okay, you know what? We're going to tear it down. And you know what happened?
What?
They didn't have the permits to finish the job.
Oh,
So the city stopped them from tearing down the house. And now all you see is just the front of the house and everything else is just wood everywhere. It's a shambles. It's absolutely horrible. It's a complete
dang.
and they sold the house. Somebody else sold the house right next to it. We actually had to do an open house, and that's how we know what it looked like. They did open house right next door to that
Wow.
down house.
I'm surprised anybody want to buy a house next to that one since it's eyesore.
I mean, that was the worst. Like, if you want to see like like think about like a house that looked like it was burned down. Like at first it looked like a haunted house, like something out of it. But then, like later on, it looked like somebody had burned down in there or something like that. I was just like, man,
wow.
it's almost like if you ever seen the movie Life, and in the movie they had burned down the hospital part. That's what it looked like.
Ooh, wow.
But yeah, so I did, but that was a while ago, a few years ago, and that was that story. But also, I know we were talking about the to stop living paycheck to paycheck, and some of the points that I brought up was the fact that I had to change my diet. That was one. I actually had to start cooking.
Yeah.
And I'm getting better at cooking. My mom finally complimented me on my cooking. I had to, put it down. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get some chicken tenderloins. I'm gonna get some lemon pepper. I'm gonna get some butter. I'm gonna hook it up. And she said I doing a pretty good job. So all these months of me, cooking by myself has improved my cooking ability.
I'm gonna let you know, a man that know how to cook is gonna definitely keep him warm.
Yeah.
Still know how to do a little something. Let me give a shout out to Lucchese 20 with the $20 super sticker.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yes.
And well, I'm
And
gonna tell you, I definitely want everybody to go to Before the Billions YouTube page. Let's go on and get them those watch hours. I know it can be done.
It
because we
can.
did it over here. So you're doing the right thing. You got more than enough, stuff up there for people to look at. You're doing your lives. So yeah, we should get you there. And like I said, Major Change Group, you're going to be a part of the team. Before the Billions is already a part of that team.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to definitely be reaching out to you real soon and tell you exactly, where we want to place you, in that team. So, it's not voluntary. So you don't have to worry about all these voluntary things. I might be a preacher and a pastor and all that other great stuff, but I try to make sure that my team is taken care of.
All right.
All right. So with that being said, I want to thank every single person today who came out early. Guarantee you tomorrow, it's not going to be no long stroking, y'all. I'm going to do my little 5-10 minutes. We're going to get into it. But just to let y'all know, Major Change Group was not sitting in the back for 45 minutes. I don't know if she was here at 8, at 7, and I just talked, and then she showed up.
No,
Not
he
at
told
work.
me. He told me.
But I want to thank every single one of y'all that came out to both celebrate and to hear Major Change Group. Again, let's take this knowledge and let's apply it. Knowledge without application would never lead to the revelation. So let's now reverse that mindset. Let's take what we learned, do some extra research, and then apply what we learned today. And let's make our day better today than it was yesterday, and even more prosperous in the new year. Shout out to Friendsgiving, $50 cash app. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Salute to you.
That's
Thank you,
amazing.
Friendsgiving. So we are definitely on that road. We're gonna definitely be putting a Patreon together, and I think you see and you're liking the team that we're putting together. So we're not just gonna talk it; we're gonna walk it and give people exactly what they need, what
Right.
what they desire. You know, they
Mhm.
need a place to come where they can get some real education about life, money, finance, without all of us talking about look at the new Cadillac we got. Look at the new, no, let's get our life in order.
That's right.
Let's get our financial life in order. So again, and I come with that holiness. So every once in a while, I might get a little preaching in there. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. So once again, to everybody in the chat, thank y'all so much for your love, your support, your prayers, your shout outs, your cash apps, your super chats. And we're gonna keep building, keep building, keep building. Before the billions, I'm gonna let you have the last word, even though Major Change Group is our guest here.
No, before the billions, you go for it.
You go for it. You're going to have the last word before the billions because Major Change Group is now a part of the team. So take us out before the billions.
Yes. Also, thank you. I want to say a huge thank you to Uncle Stu for having me up here, and also for having such a great channel, emancipating our minds, as you will say.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
And I want to give a big salute to our veteran over here, Uncle Stu. Thank you
Yes.
so much. And also, congratulations again. You are
Thank you.
impacting a lot of people's lives in a positive way. And I am extremely happy to be a part of the team. And I am glad that it's growing. I'm glad that the neighborhood is growing as well. Got all the nieces and nephews up
Yes.
here supporting. And it is just a great community overall. I am
Thank
so
you.
happy that your community is growing.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hold on, let me say this. Nope, Alpha Man, honestly, we all in this together. You didn't miss nothing because we going to keep rocking and rolling. You know that you are part of the team, so we going to keep this moving. I got another live tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Thank you, sir. So we all in this together because trust me, I need you just as much as you need me. We need each other. And we're going to keep rocking and rolling.
Yes, sir.
And again, Major Change Group, I thank you for your time, for your efforts, for your knowledge. And I'm guaranteeing we will be in touch because I think you got a lot more to offer and your time is valuable. And we're going to put that value and get that knowledge out there so we can help you to take that next trip.
I know that's right.
And look, and being that you a twin and you already see I got a twin over here, now I got to keep that twin positivity going. All right, before the billions.
All right. Yes, sir. I'll see you later.
All right. Thank y'all.
Y'all have a
Peace.
good one. Bye.
Bye. Let me get my little ending over here. And this is how we gonna do it.
Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. Like, comment, share, and definitely subscribe. Emancipate your mind. Peace.